Okay, we're going to give this a shot today. Never tried this before. So we're just going to go over the problems that you've done here. So first one's 158 divided by 37. If I come down here and do some partial quotients, my first would be 37 times 2, which is 74. 37 times 5. 37 times 5 is 185. 37 times 10. Well, I'm not even paying attention. Don't need to go that high. That's going to be too much. This one's too much. So the first partial quotient that I'm going to go with is 2. 37 times 2 is 74. 8 subtract 4 is 4. 15 subtract 7 is 8. So I've got 84. I'll use this one again. So 2 times 37 is 74. We subtract, we get 10. 37 is bigger than 10, so I'm done. So I'll add up these two. 2 plus 2 is 4. And I have a remainder of 10, so 4 remainder of 10. So our first problem there is 4 remainder 10. Our next problem is 261 divided by 49. So 49 times 2 is 98. 49 times 5. 9 times 5 is 45. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 4 is 24. So that's 245. And that's actually a good one to start with. So the first partial quotient I'm going to use is 5. 49 times 5 is 245. We'll subtract. 1 subtract 5 is 6. 5 subtract 4 is 1. So I have 16. 49 is bigger than 16. So that means I'm done with this one. So for this one, the answer is 5 remainder 16. Okay, our third problem is going to be 574 divided by 82. And again, you don't have to do the times 2, the times 2, times 5, times 10. Just there if that would be helpful for you. So 82 times 2 is 164. Let's try 82 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 1 is 41. So 82 times 5 is 410. And if I did 82 times 10, that'll be 820. Run out of space to write there. And that's going to be too big, so that's not going to work. So we'll go with our first one here, first partial product, or first partial quotient, and we're going to use as 5. 82 times 5 is 410. 4 subtract 0 is 4. 7 subtract 1 is 6. 5 subtract 4 is 1. So we have 164. This one isn't written very well, but 82 times 2 is 164. So our next partial quotient is going to be 2. 82 times 2 is 164. We subtract, and we get 0. We talked previously about if you get to 0 and you know you did everything else correctly, you're done. So 5 plus 2 is 7. 574 divided by 82 is 7. And our next problem would be 464 divided by 58. 58 times 2 is 116. 58 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 is 29. So 58 times 5 is 290. If we did 58 times 10, that'd be too high for this one. So our first partial product we'd use is 5. 58 times 5 is 290. Subtract. 4 subtract 0 is 4. Can't do 6 subtract 9, so we'll borrow. 16 minus 9 is 7. 16 minus 9 is 7. 3 subtract 2 is 1. So we're left with 174. So we could use 2 for our next partial product. Excuse me, I keep saying that, partial quotient. 58 times 2 is 116. So if we subtract that, can't do 4 minus 6. So we'll borrow here. 14 minus 6 is 8. 6 subtract 1 is 5. So we have 58 now. 58 is our divisor. I can get 158 from 58. 58. Subtract 58 is 0. So our answer for this problem is 8. All right. 640 divided by 79. 79 times 2 is 158. And 79 times 5. 9 times 5 is 45. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 4 is 39. So 79 times 5 is 395. If I got to 10, 79 times 10 would be too big. So 5 is our first partial quotient. 5 times 79 is 395. Subtract. Can't do 0 minus 5. Can't do 4 minus 9. So come over to the 6 and borrow. We'll borrow here. It's not very easy to read. I apologize for that. So now we can subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. 13 subtract 9 is 4. And this is a 5. 5 subtract 3 is 2. So we have 245. We'll have to use 2 for our next partial quotient. And 79 times 2 is 158. So we'll subtract that. I'm going to have to come all the way over here to borrow again. So it'll become a 13. Again, hard to see. 15 subtract 8 is 7. 13 subtract 5 is 8. So this number here is 87. Let me write a little bit better. There's one, I can get 179 from 87. 1 times 79 is 79. Subtract 17 minus 9 is 8. So I can't do any more dividing. 5 plus 2 plus 1 is 8. So our answer for that one is 8 remainder 8. All right, our next question. It takes Jawan exactly 35 minutes by car to get to his grandmother's. The nearest parking area is a 4-minute walk from her apartment. One week, he realized that he had spent 5 hours and 12 minutes traveling to her apartment and then back home. How many round trips did he make to visit his grandmother? Well, let's see here. So it takes him 35 minutes to get to his grandmother's. The nearest parking area is a 4-minute walk from her apartment. He realized he spent 5 hours and 12 minutes traveling to her apartment and then back home. So travel time is going to be the 35 minutes plus the 4 minutes of walking, which is 39 minutes. So I'm going to put that over there, 39. Now, in order to do this division, we have to do some converting. We have to convert 5 hours and 12 minutes to minutes. So we have to take the 5 hours and we have to multiply that by 60. So 5 times 60 is 300. And that 300 is minutes plus the 12 minutes. So 312 minutes. So from the 5 hours, 12 minutes, we get 312 minutes, along with the 35 minutes of travel time. So 312. So our division problem is going to be 312 divided by 39. So 312 divided by 39. 39 times 2 is 78. 39 times 5. 9 times 5 is 45. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 4 is 19. So 39 times 5 is 195. And if we did times 10, it'd be too much. So our first partial quotient is going to be 5, which will be 195. Come all the way back here, so 2, 10, 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. 10 minus 9 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So for next partial quotient, I'm going to use 2. 39 times 2 is 78. I have to borrow from here. 17 subtract 8 is 9. 10 subtract 7 is 3. I can get 139 from 39. 1 times 39 is 39. So I have 0. 5 plus 2 plus 1 is 8. It's not very easy to see up there. 8 has been a popular answer for this particular sheet here. Which brings us to our last one here. So our last problem is asking us how many 84s are in 672. So I can kind of look at it this way. I'm not going to actually solve this, but I'm going to look at this 8 and this 67 to get me started. So when we're thinking about a multiplication chart, the closest I can get to 67 using 8s is 64, because 8 times 8 is 64. So I'm going to start 84 times 8. This answer has to be less than this. So 4 times 8 is 32. 8 times 8 is 64, plus 3 is 67. Now, I misspoke earlier. This number here can be equal to this or less. If it was bigger, it wouldn't work. For this particular number, it matches. So the question, or the answer to how many 84s are in 672, it's 8. Carrying on the theme of the paper that we've been working on, the answer is 8. Have a great rest of your day. Make sure you're following directions and being good listeners. And I will see you on Tuesday.